welcome to my little corner of the internet where I talk about what I have been making, which is usually knitting or crochet. My name is Nicola and I'm the maker behind Mrs S Craft Corner. I'm coming to you from Nottingham, which is in the UK. I live here with my husband, our two boys, Oliver who is 10 and Joseph who is 8, and our dog Finn. Right, so welcome to today. Today is Sunday the 26th of March. Hopefully this will go up later on today if I get it edited in time. Thank you so much for joining me today. So first thing, what I am wearing is not a jumper today, and it is my first finished object. This is the Morning Sunshine cowl in 4-ply by Tellybean Knits. This was a cast on and cast off since you last saw me. So let me pop it just back on a second. Nice. So yeah, this is the one that I was on about previously. So the yarns that I have used, I have them here, is the medium grey in the Filclana Arvetta, which is a 4-ply fingering, and it's 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon, and it's so soft. I love this for like your basic 4-ply yarn that you need solid colours in. It's lovely, and you get 210 metres per 50 grams. And then the contrast colour is this one. So that is it going to focus on that? There we go. Very nice colour. That is by Biff Sugar Yarns, and it is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon, 425 metres per 100 grams. And I would say I have about 60 grams or so left of this, so I can get some socks out of it, which I was worried about. So I'll get some socks out of this, and I've not weighed how much this was, but that was the full skein of 50, and I've still got that much left, so there's plenty. I probably could have used the yarn that I had from Giddy Knits, Fluff, to make one, but I'm glad that I've made them out of this actually, because I think it looks really nice. I like that it's striped. So you get in the pattern there's officially 7 sections, but one of the sections is where you join in the round. So you start, you cast on a little tab here and start as you do a normal shawl for one section, and the next one, which is just a broken 2x2 rib, and then this lovely lacy bit, and then after this one that's where you join it in the back. Can you see? So you join it in the back, and then this is one that I've never come across before. It's where you do in a 2x2 rib, but then you like bunch it together. There is a name for that and I've forgotten that off the top of my head. And then another lace bit, and then this crossover one, which actually was a bit fiddly. It was very hard on my hands doing that bit, because to do this stitch, to get it long enough, you're knitting into the stitch but you wrap in a few times around before you bring it back out, so there's a lot of yarn overs to get on and off the needles, because obviously using a circular one it goes onto the thin wire, and then getting it back onto the needle was a bit of a struggle. Getting the stitches back on from the cable, it really hurt my hands, so I was glad when that bit was over. And I'd possibly consider, if I was to make it another one, or with the DK version that I have got, trying to find a different pattern on it, just because that was really, it was tough on my hands, and so it took a bit longer and it wasn't quite mindless and enjoyable for me. But I think it looks really nice. I do like the look of this. It's had its first outing today, taking the Joseph to his rugby match today, so that was nice. What size I used the needle that was recommended in the pattern and I can't remember what that was now. It's 3.5 or 7.5 is what it was. But yeah, it's really nice. The instructions are so clear on the pattern. You get so for the lace bits you either get it charted or written out, so depending on what your preference for reading patterns is. So that's really good, and it holds your hand, and then towards the end of the pattern it shows you like a pictorial diagrams for how you do certain stitches if you're unsure, which I found really useful because like this one, I've never done that one before, so that was helpful having that in the pattern. And yeah, it's really well done. I would definitely recommend it. Just, yeah, that bit was a bit hard on my hands, but I love it. And I have another finished object today, and they are the socks for the lady-in-law, Aunt Catherine. So these are all done, is it blurring out a bit? How beautiful are those colours? They are perfect for spring, and I love them. Yeah, so standard sock pattern that I do, cast on 64 stitches on 2.25mm needles, 20 rounds for the cuff in the 2x2 rib, and then it's just vanilla but just changing the colours every 5 rounds. And that's where I've sewed all the ends in. Finished this last night. And then a slip stitch, heel flap and gusset. Slip stitch, heel flap, and then the gusset decreases, and then the wedge toe. Now the off-white cream again is the Filcolana Arvetta. I like that for my heels, toes and cuffs. And then the main yarn was from Cheshire Yarns. They have a shop on Etsy, on Focus. There we go, little chibi. And they are made up of 60% superwash merino, 20% alpaca and 20% nylon. Yeah, you can get 5 20-gram minis. And yeah, they're really nice. I did think though, I know that the superwash, the merino is superwash, but I don't believe alpaca is. So I will have to let her know that she may have to be a bit careful with it. I did do a few extra rounds just in case the alpaca does felt and shrink it a bit, so that they do still fit as you're walking on them. They can felt on the bottom, can't they? So I did do a couple of extra rounds just in case so that it has got shrinking room. But yeah, I knit those concurrently, so not two at a time. They're on 2 separate needles. On the higher sharps, 9-inch circulars, changed to 32-inch ones to do the toe. And yeah, they're so nice and soft. And she did very kindly say that I could keep the leftovers, so they are in here. So there's plenty of each of these left. So what I'm going to do, I've cast on, it's the tiniest amount. That's how much I've got, like 1.5 rounds after cast on. I'm going to do the colour palette socks, which I will link below the pattern for. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. But the cuff on there is a 1x1 twisted rib. And now my favourite is 2x2, but I've decided to give it a go doing a twisted 2x2 rib to see how that looks. But also with the colour palette, because it's like colour blocks, there's the stripe in between the colours of about 4 rounds, and that's supposed to be 1x1 twisted rib as well. But I think I'm just going to do 4 rounds plain stockinette with the this off-white colour in between the colour blocks of those yarns like this. So there'll be, I think I've worked it out for how long I need the foot and how the 4 rounds in between, so I will need 17 rounds of colour per block, which means I'll only do 2 colour blocks for the leg, which will give it a shorter leg than I'm used to. yeah, and then there'll be 4 colour blocks along the foot. Yeah, I'm looking forward to having those because I love those colours, and they are very much Catherine, these colours. Yeah, hopefully she'll love them. But yeah, they're hanging out in this same again bag from Tea Cake and Make, but my mum got me this little badge, so I had to put them on my sock project bag, didn't I? It's I think she got them from Etsy. I can't remember where I've put the label for that now, but yeah, a really cute little badge. So that is those. So that opened us straight up into works in progress, didn't it? And I didn't even realise. So that's my first work in progress, which is barely anything. My second one is my Stone Crop by Andrea Mowry, and I'm loving this. I do really like it. I've managed to get a bit more done since last time. So where that rainbow stitch marker is, I'll try and turn it around so you can actually see it is a rainbow. So from up there, it's about what, 1.5 inches, just over. Yeah, I'd say about 1.5 inches I've done since then. Yeah, not too much longer until I need to do the sleeve separation. Yeah, it's working up really nicely. Here, don't let me just pop it. They are on bigger needles, but they're still not big enough needles to go on right. So you can see-ish what it'll look like. Yeah, I'm quite excited for that one to be done. So this is being knit with, you'll be ever so surprised, Vulcana Arvetta 4-ply classic. That's the really dark blue. That is my main colour. Making a right faff today, aren't I? I don't know. Yes, I'm on to my second ball. So they're the floats inside. I don't think they're too bad. I'm always really wary about the floats being too long and catching them, so I do catch them quite often. If there's like more than 3 stitches, I will catch it. So that's the main colour, the Fil Colour Arvetta, and then this is the contrast colour, okay, which is Sea Glass by Somerset Yarns, and that's Superwash BFL rather than the merino nylon. See if I still got, no, I haven't. Where is that? I'm sure I kept the tag. I did keep the tag. Yeah, so that's by Somerset Yarns. So 425 metres per 100 grams standard 4-ply fingering. Yeah, it's really lovely. So they are knit on my High is steel interchangeable, and it is 3.75. Yeah, so this must have been 3.5 then, because the 3.75 are on here. Yeah, it's really nice. I like Andrea's patterns. She always has little video tutorials for anything that you're struggling, that you might never have done, a technique you may never have done before. So like the little crochet bubbles, I've never done those before, so there's tutorials for them. Yeah, I've seen that one quite a few times. I think that one's going to take a long time to do with being colour work and textures. In my vintage sweetie bag. And then I've had another new project that I've put on. I never know what to say because it's crochet, so you don't cast it on in the same sense, do you? And hooking on just sounds wrong to me, I don't know why. But it is a Scrappy granny shawl. So yeah, I'm just making these with scraps of 4-ply yarn that I've been using while staying at mother-in-law's. Yeah, so it was a free pattern from Ravelry, but in the pattern it said to use something like a 5 or 5.5 hook, still with the 4-ply fingering, and I thought that would be a bit too gappy and loose. So I am using a 3.5mm hook. This is one I have borrowed from a friend because I have got lots of crochet hooks, but I've not brought those with me here. Although I had brought a 3.5 with me to do the axolotl stress ball from a previous episode, but I can't find it. And it was one of those polymer clay handle ones that, from like an indie maker that I love, and I don't know where it's gone, so I've had to borrow this from a friend. But yeah, so 3.5, but other than that I've not changed anything in the pattern, and just go in until the scraps run out, so it's not for however many rows, because you see with the dark purple one it's just on that half that it is. And then I've made a magic knot ball here. And I know people say that the magic knots are absolutely fine, but just to give me some peace of mind, I saw the Crazy Sock Lady is doing this with hers, but you can get it from Amazon. It's this liquid stitch thing. Feels a bit like PVA glue, but it's a fabric glue. So you make the magic knot with the 2 yarns, and then I put the tiniest amount and just rub it over the knot and let that dry, then round on the next one, just so that I know that it's definitely not going to come apart. Like you can see a little one, can you see? A little knot just there. So yeah, so you give that a good old tug and that's not coming undone for anybody. Yes, it's a nice little scrappy project. I mean, I realised after I started it I don't have as many mini scraps as I thought I did. So this one was from a pair of colourwork socks that I did that I haven't shown because that was made before I started making this. This one is the Fox colourway, Colour of the Month by Giddy Yarns, and I'd used that to make Joseph a scarf because foxes are his favourite animal, so I couldn't resist getting that one. And this purple one is from my Advent jumper. It was just what was left over after cast off of the body. And then this purpley one is the one from Ducky Darlings that I used in the cardigan that I was wearing last time and the mitts that I made whilst I was here. This white one is from the same sock set as the blue one. It's colourwork. And then this blue one actually isn't a scrap that I've used. That came with some needles or something that I'd ordered from Ellie at Craft House Magic. And it was just a tiny, I think 5-gram micro skein that came with it. And I had nothing else that I would use it for, so I popped it in here. And this bluey, no it's not, this red and greeny grey one, well all of them from there. So that one, the brighter blue, the blue and beigey browny colour, and then the yellow are all from the Beauty and the Beast mini skein set that I got from the Lonely Knitter. Yeah, and so you can see the green, that's the third colour from the Colourwork socks that I haven't shown yet, and some few other minis inside. But yeah, so I might have to bring some more minis from home to get this done, but it's going to become just a shawl, so like a wearable blanket, because I love being warm and cosy. And that is everything for what I have been crafting. It was Mother's Day last week, so naturally I got some yarn. Lovely, just the natural colour from Woolly Knits. It's a 4-ply 100% merino. Can't remember if it was superwash or not, but yeah, it's a 500g cone. Now I got this, I asked for this, it didn't pick this on their own. I've got fluff or something on my face. Yeah, I asked for this because I want to make the Whitmore sweater. And that is a fingering weight held with mohair. When I first asked for this, I didn't know if I wanted to have it with, get like a Surrey alpaca lace weight one that's hand dyed to go with it, so it's got a few speckles throughout it, so it's not just white. But I think I like just the white one, so I may just get just another natural off-white mohair or Surrey alpaca to go with it, just because I love that one. But yes, that was that one. And then I also bought, which I probably shouldn't have done, but on the 14th of March is Pi Day, because 3.14 is the start of the pi number. And so loads of indie dyers have dyed sock sets and stuff to make it for Pi Day potluck, I think they called it. And I bought this beautiful, like honestly, look at those colours, sock set from Camel's Yarns, which is dyed in Cornwall, and the colourway is pumpkin and ginger pie, which is this main skein, and then and that doesn't say what colour this one is, but it's, yeah, so it's that's a nice like dusky pinky colour. Beautiful variegated yarn. So they will be socks for me, obviously. Now all of the Pi Day yarns were beautiful, and I would have got most of them if I could have done, but I only let myself get one. And I got this because I am planning on getting another yarn advent calendar for this year, and obviously it is a big investment, and I wanted to make sure that I do like the yarn from the people that I'm buying from. I've never bought from Camel's Yarn, but if you look on her Instagram, honestly, last year's was stunning. And so yeah, I'm gonna get her advent calendar this year, because it was between this one or the, is it West Green Loft yarns, which again is beautiful, but it's all pastels. I don't wear a lot of pastels. But I want to make, with the advent calendar, I think I've decided, this could all change between now and December, but I want to make a half and half triangles wrap, which is, I believe, is Pearl Soho. It's a free pattern, so it's fingering. I had gone through the project pages just because I wanted to make one anyway, just to get some ideas, and I'd seen somebody had done a stripy one. Now Camel's Yarn, she is doing a fade this year, and it's all based on in and around Cornwall, because that's what she dyes her yarn based on. But it'll be a fade, and I thought that would be really nice if half of the triangle was the fade from one end to another, and I have worked it out, there will be enough yardage for me to use all of it in a half, and then on the other half I'll use something like this. I may even use this with it. I'll either buy another one or use this one for the other half. So there'll be faded one half and then a natural colour on the other, because it'll make a big square, and then you fold it in half to make a triangle diagonally, and then either wrap it around like a shawl or wear it as a blanket. And I think that would be really nice, lovely and snuggly. But yeah, so that's it for all of the yarny stuff today. Oliver did come out Mother's Day morning. Husband came to pick us up, I think it was about 7:20 in the morning, so we were home really early. And to be fair, the lads just played their game together all day, which was just nice to have him home and have us all together. Rob's brother cooked everyone dinner. He made a lovely Sunday roast, but yeah, so Rob's brother and his girlfriend, big foodie people, and the food that they make is always delicious. Not very good for you because it's full of like butter and cream and all of that stuff, but oh, it's really nice. And yeah, we've had a good week with Oliver at home. He's been managing half days at school, and we'd had, because he loved his swimming beforehand, but because of his line and things like that, he's not allowed to get it wet. But we got a grant from a charity, which meant that he could have, we bought a dry suit for him. So it means that he can go swimming in the water and his line and stuff won't get wet, and he can do a small amount of exercise just to help build himself back up again. So he did that on Wednesday. He went swimming with his dad, and I was sat on the side because it does take two of us to put it on, because it's the rubber seal is as big as his neck. Trying to get that over his head is a nightmare, so you need to have 4 hands basically stretching it out to get it over his head. So I did need to stay there for that. But honestly, it was fantastic to see him having a laugh playing in the pool with his dad, because they do have a special rehab swim session, so there's less people going and they're not going to be jumping in and out and causing him any issues. Yeah, so that was nice, and he will be back in on Tuesday for his next cycle. But yeah, so far, touch wood, everything's been good this week, and that's everything. I hope you're all doing well, and hope you've all had a lovely week, and I hope next week's good for you. Thank you again for staying with me today. Take care. Goodbye.